Hey, so I did every single trap in every Saw film, and I did every death in all of the Final Destination movies. So today, we're doing another one. We're doing more rankings of people dying because it's fun. Should that be fun? I don't know. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is a morally bad thing to be doing. Having fun watching people die. But obviously it's all fake and ridiculous and whatever. So let's just get into this. Have a bit of fun. Today we're doing the Scream series. So this is all the kills in every single Scream film. Which, you know, there's only 4. So I say every single. Like, that sounds like a bit of an exaggeration. But as of my count, the research I've done just before shooting this video, there are 40 kills in the Scream franchise. If I've missed any, I'm sorry. Let me know. I don't think I have though, because I looked at various lists and all that stuff, so hopefully I got them all. And yeah, it's going to be ranked in kind of, you know, considering the creativeness and just how effective they are in terms of the scenes that they're in as well. And just how memorable they are and what I like as well, because everything is subjective no matter what. No matter what criteria you put down for anything, literally every single thing is subjective when we're talking about movies and rankings and all that kind of stuff. And keep in mind that when it comes to rankings and stuff as well, everything can change no matter, like, I could change my mind entirely tomorrow about the entire list. But as of now, in my filming, this is what I think, and this is how I've ranked them. Let's get to it. Alright. So, number 40, probably the worst one. Look, I'm going to be honest, the first few here are pretty much similar. I mean, I don't feel too strongly about any of them. I don't absolutely hate any of these, but I do find that a lot of these are not very memorable. So the one that I've got for number 40 is, if you remember in Scream 2, Sydney and her friend have like these bodyguards who are like looking after them or whatever. And there is a scene at nighttime in a car and Ghostface predictably comes after them. Basically, this kill is just one of the bodyguard guys being surprised, getting stabbed. It's a throat slitting thing, and he falls out the car door. And that's it. You know, it's pretty basic. It's pretty boring. That is one thing that I am going to say just before I get to the rest of this list. When it comes to the Scream franchise, like, I love Scream, but the charm of Scream is the mystery, the 90s vibes, you know, the goofiness of Ghostface and everything, Sidney Prescott as a character, Dewey, all of the characters that we like. But they're not, you know, the kills aren't necessarily that great. That's not really what we're coming into a Scream film for, if you ask me. Some people might think I'm insane because these are horror movies, there are a lot of deaths, and that is very true. But a lot of the kills in the Scream franchise are just a stab. Just a stab to the back, or just, you know, slashing somebody's throat. That covers like a large majority, at least like half of these deaths are just kind of basic like that. But, you know, I bothered to do this anyway, so hopefully some people agree with my opinions on these. Let me know if you don't. So, next up at number 39 is another bodyguard, but it's not from the same scene. This is from Scream 3, where it's the bodyguard guy played by that dude with the really deep voice, Patrick something. Anyway, and in this scene, he's in like a trailer thing, and then Ghostface sneaks in, gives him a cheeky stab to the back, and then a little bit later, he stumbles in front of some of the characters and just falls to the ground and dies, letting everybody know that they are in danger. Then, at number 38 is the part in Scream 3 at the very end when Sydney's brother, Roman, kills the movie producer guy who he thinks, like, you know, betrayed him and whatever.
Final cut! I already have it.
I will say that this is a really weird and interesting kind of scene when you consider the fact that Miramax was behind this film and Harvey Weinstein was behind this film, and the guy, this movie producer guy, is known for being pretty sleazy and like dodgy and that stuff, and like this film criticizes that, and it's just fucking weird as, because he, like, you know, he was a producer for this series and everything, unfortunately, and yeah, I don't know, it's like, I don't know. There's a bit of irony there, I feel like. Number 37 is the cop played by the guy from the OC. And he just gets stabbed. It's pretty basic, it's pretty boring. This is in Scream 4. And number 36 from Scream 4 again is the girl who gets kind of caught in the garage door, pinned against the door and the floor, and then Ghostface pulls her out. And there's like the pretty iconic shot that very much mirrors the original film, and that's just kind of you know, just kind of a basic stab yet again. But it is kind of like an iconic look with the knife kind of on camera and everything. And it's an intro to the film, so you can't expect the best stuff to be at the very start. Sometimes. Actually, Actually, now that I think about it, the intros to 1 and 2 are quite high on this list, but let's get to that later. Then number 35 is the guy named Derek, who is Sydney's boyfriend in Scream 2, who gets shot by Timmy Oliphant, who is revealed to be one of the killers in Scream 2. So this is the guy who's just pinned to the theater thing or whatever it's called, and then just gets shot. It's pretty uninventive for a horror movie kill, so that's why it's so high up here. Then number 34 is a girl from Scream 4 who gets stabbed, just a cheeky little stab, and then she gets thrown through a window, but I think she's already dead at this point. Pretty boring, but you know, it's fine. I guess there's a bit of excitement in being thrown through the window, I guess. Number 33 is from nearing the end of Scream 3, where the woman is just running away and then she gets surprised around the corner by Ghostface. Then she just gets stabbed. It's just a basic stab. And then she later, from kind of like an aerial shot type of thing, it's with Sydney and Gail Weathers looking down from the staircase, and you see her just get dragged away. Making that shot, you know, making this scene just a little bit more memorable to me, but it's pretty basic yet again, just another stab, which I know is pretty ironic to kind of criticize, especially when Scream itself criticizes it with the movies within the movies called Stab, like everybody's getting stabbed, okay? So I guess I can't complain too much because I think they're very aware of this, but you know, that's kind of the fun with these ranking things. I can come up with my own criteria. Just a basic stabbing isn't going to get you too high on the list. That's just the way I've done it, alright? Then number 32 is the guy who films everything throughout Scream 4, and he just gets taken out again by Ghostface, just lying down on the floor looking up at Ghostface. Very similar to that other one where she gets caught in the garage door and just stabbed yet again by Ghostface. Just, yeah, another one where it's quite similar. These ones don't quite stand out too much to me, so that's why they're so far down on the list. Then at number 31 is Drew Barrymore's boyfriend, who gets his guts kind of all spilled out. You don't see too much because the lights go off, but then you do see some of the aftermath with literally his guts coming out of his body, so it's pretty brutal, but this isn't a character that we ever really meet. He doesn't have any lines, I don't think. I think he has like some muffled screaming and whatever, but that's about it. So yeah, it's not going to be too high on the list when it's a character like that, just for me. But the kind of imagery of it is pretty iconic, and it is part of a fantastic scene, so I didn't want to make it like number 40, you know what I mean? It deserved a little bit higher than that. Then number 30 is Sydney's friend who gets surprised. It's kind of like a jump scare. Ghostface just jumps out and kind of takes her out. Not like the most creative kill or whatever, but it is part of a very intense scene, and I don't know, I do kind of appreciate the little kind of jump scare thing that they go for. It's not too, you know, too bad. Whatever. Then number 29 is not Macaulay Culkin, but his brother or cousin or whatever. What's his name? Oh no, let's check what his name is. Rory is apparently his name. Not Macaulay Culkin, Rory McCulkin, gets killed. He gets betrayed by Emma Roberts, who are the two killers in Scream 4. This one is kind of brutal just because, like, he feels so betrayed and it takes him a while to die and, like, whatever. But, you know, arguably, he kind of deserved it because he is one of the killers and everything. So, yeah, not too much sympathy there. Then number 28 is the part in Scream 3 where they are in the studio, the movie studio, and there's all the Ghostface costumes hung up everywhere, and it's kind of like that scene in I, Robot with all the robots standing perfectly in line uniform. There's this girl going through where all of those costumes are, and then she kind of gets like smashed through the window part of a door and just stabbed right in the back and just kind of hangs there dead. Then number 27 is what I've called Save the Cheerleader, oh, she's dead. Because it's Hayden Panett, I don't know how to say her name. What is it? Hayden Panettiere. Panettiere. Hayden Panettiere. That's probably not at all how you pronounce it. Anyway, she was in Heroes, and they said save the cheerleader, save the world. So she's dead. She dies. It's not that great a kill. It's fine. As you can see, because I have a visual up, right? I always put these visuals up. Trust editing me to do that. Then number 26 is Cotton Weary's girlfriend or wife who gets stabbed at the start of Scream 3. While the kill itself isn't that graphic or that memorable or that great, she just gets stabbed in the back, then falls to the floor. It is part of a really cool scene with the fake Cotton Weary voice and everything that kind of escalates, you know, the stakes for what Scream 3 is about to entail, where Ghostface now has that ability to fake people's voices and stuff. It's not just the deep kind of voice and whatever. And then next up, I've got 25 is Cotton Weary's death, where he is just stabbed through the chest. Again, very similar to those two others with girl who gets caught in the garage door and the guy who films everything. Just another one where it is somebody lying down on the floor. They've been caught by Ghostface. Ghostface is on top of him and just stabs right through the chest. And then it opens to the title and everything. And I do quite like that scene. The kill itself isn't that great, but it is a pretty good opening scene, if you ask me. A lot of people criticize Scream 3 because they say it's not as violent. It did get heavily censored. And so a lot of people were disappointed by that because, you know, it's not as bloody and whatever and all that kind of stuff. But as I've said earlier, the blood isn't really what I'm into Scream for. Like, Scream is kind of... the appeal to Scream is the humor to it, the fun that they have with the tropes and the genres and everything, the characters and everything, the 90s vibes, all that kind of stuff, the mystery. That is what Scream is about. Scream isn't necessarily, to me, about the kills and stuff. The kills are largely not that interesting. Though, when I do get to the top of this list and the very best ones, I will say that they are, you know, there are some pretty good standouts. Then, number 24 is when, it's just a guy, I don't remember the character's name, but they're in the mansion at the end of Scream 3, and he just gets thrown out a window. And that's it. He just gets thrown out a window. You don't see his body impact or anything, just thrown out the window. And I kind of like it just because it's kind of silly. Then number 23 is the guy at the start of Scream 2 who is stabbed through the toilet stall. This though will forever be ruined because of the opening to Scary Movie 2. They are just synonymous in my mind. I can't get one, you know, separated from the other. They belong together, unfortunately, because it really takes the intensity out of the Scream scene. Oh my god. Both of those scenes are things that will forever stay in my mind and forever be associated with each other in my mind. I just can't help it. It's ruined for me. Then number 22 is when Sarah Michelle Gellar gets thrown off a roof. It's very similar to the one from Scream 3 where the guy gets thrown out the window. Just somebody gets thrown from a height. And that is all. Then number 21 I've called You've Got Mail, because it is a woman who gets stabbed through the like mail door hole. Like, what's that called? Like the mail slit in a door? Yeah, she just gets stabbed right through it. Again, it's just another stabbing in the back and everything, so it's not like the most, I don't know, the most creative, brutal type of killing, you know? It's very similar to all of the other ones, but through the mailbox kind of thing, it makes it a little bit more interesting. Just puts a little bit of more flavor in there, you know? Then, number 20. This is the top 20. This is the one where Emma Roberts shoots a guy in the balls, and then in the head. Brutal stuff. He cheated on her or whatever, and so she's getting revenge, and yeah, she shoots him in the balls, which is not an ideal place to be shot, I imagine. I mean, you know, I'm not speaking from experience. I've never been shot in the balls, believe it or not, but it seems undesirable, just personally. I wouldn't want that. Then number 19 is the two-way mirror scene where Dewey is shooting all of the mirrors while he's hearing screaming from the other side. And then she gets stabbed, and then she gets pushed through that window, smashed through that window, and then Dewey maybe also accidentally shoots her. I'm not exactly sure. Let me know if you think he did. It looks like he did. I think he did. Anyway, she gets pretty fucking dead, right? Like, that's a lot of things killing you. Then number 18 is Sidney's brother, who gets stabbed a bunch and then shot a bunch. He gets back up and he gets shot a bunch, and his body's just going as he gets shot and everything. And it's pretty cool. I just like it, you know, in every Scream they always come back because that's the horror movie trope and everything. And then, yeah, he just gets shot by Dewey. Then number 17 is Mrs. Loomis's death, where she is just shot in the head by Cotton Weary. And although she's just getting shot and the death itself isn't that like visually memorable, what I like about this scene is kind of the deal that Cotton and Sydney are having together, where he's trying to get like fame and success out of it. He's like, can I, whatever he wants, can I get a book deal? Can we set something up or whatever, get an interview? Can you help me out with this kind of stuff? Because Sydney has that kind of, that fame and everything. So she's like, be able to help him out with that kind of shit. And like the thing with this scene is that it's showing that that's all Cotton really gives a shit about. Like he just wants to get something out of this for himself. And that's literally it. And so, yeah, he's pressuring everybody. He's trying to make this deal with Sydney. And then as soon as she's like, consider it done, he shoots her in the head. Not Sydney, Mrs. Loomis. Then number 16 is Billy Loomis, who was shot by Sydney in the original film. This is where she says, "Not in my movie." You know the scene. It's a classic. Then number 15 is the cameraman who just gets his throat slit in Scream 1. Again, this is another one where the context behind it makes it better, because I'm not a fan of a throat slitting. I don't like it. I don't like looking at it. Makes me uncomfortable. Don't like things on my neck like that. I don't like it. And it's pretty uncreative and kind of boring as well. So it's like the worst of both worlds, if you ask me. But what makes this kill good, though, is how he's in that news van and he's watching the footage of the party with Randy in there. He doesn't realize it's a recording yet, though. So he's just yelling as Randy's watching the movie, saying, behind you, because he's watching Prom Night and Ghostface is behind him. He doesn't get killed, though, because, as I've said, it is a recording, and the cameraman's saying, behind you, as Randy's saying, behind you. It's amazing. Great meta shit right there. But then he gets out of the van to go and try and help him, and because it's a recording, he gets his throat slashed. Which again, not my favorite type of kill, but the context behind it really makes this one memorable, if you ask me. Then number 14 is the guy this is the other bodyguard from number 40, my very worst one. This is the other bodyguard, so that same scene. Ghostface is in front of them, they're in the car. He drives, no, other way around. They're not in the car. Sorry, they've gotten out of the car. Ghostface is in the car. But then the bodyguard guy is in front of the car. Ghostface runs him over, but then like his body gets taken with the car. Like it's not just a hit and then he gets knocked down. Like it's like the car's taken him with it. And then he gets impaled through these poles that are sticking out through his head. It's not that explicit because it goes by pretty quick. There's no emphasis on that, but it does show his body for a second there with the pole going through his head, his hand twitching a bit. And it's pretty fucked. It's pretty violent right there. So that is definitely a standout kill, if you ask me. Then number 13, we're really getting to the good stuff now. This is the guy from Scary Movie 3 and 4 who gets stabbed right through the forehead. The character is a cop. He gets stabbed right through the forehead. He gets out of his car and he's kind of stumbling about with this wound just bleeding everywhere. It's quite horrible. It's quite brutal, and he takes ages to die. And it's just like, it's unpleasant, to be honest. And I find it kind of, I don't know, I find it realistic just because like he's so disorientated and stuff. But maybe it's not, because maybe you die instantly if you got stabbed there. I can't say I can speak from experience. I'm not sure. Then number 12 is when Alison Brie gets stabbed in the like car park, and then later, a little bit later, she gets thrown off another roof. This is another roof throwing. There's a lot of those in the Scream series apparently. And she falls right onto the news van, and it's all kind of blows up in static and electricity. Yeah, it's pretty memorable, especially for Scream 4, which is a movie that a lot of people don't think is as good as the original trilogy. Yeah, I find it pretty memorable. Then at number 11 is when the character Tatum from the original Scream gets caught in the garage door. Again, like that one from Scream 4, that one was ripping this one off. This is the original garage death in the Scream series, and this one is far superior. So she gets caught in the doggy door thing as she's trying to get away from Ghostface, but then she, kind of gets hung by it, can't get out, is stuck in there. And look, logistically, I'm not sure that the garage door would be strong enough to hold her up. I don't know, maybe. I'm not a manufacturer of garage doors, okay? Maybe there are certain models that can do that or something. Anyway, she gets lifted up, and then eventually, bang, her face gets just like squished right in. It's quite brutal. And it's definitely a classic. I think some people are going to be mad at me for not making this higher on the list, but yeah, it just misses out on top 10 for me. Let's get to the top 10, all right? Woo, top 10. Okay, so this is going to be unpopular, but this one is from Scream 4. It won't be unpopular because of the quote that goes with it. So, this is where Emma Roberts' head gets defibrillated, however you say that word, by Sydney. And she says, "Don't fuck with the original." And I just love that. Like, maybe it's a little bit cringy and stuff. Like, I don't know. I love the cheesy one-liners that are all throughout the Scream series as they kill the final villain as well. It's always so good. I hope we get that in the next Scream movie. Then number 9 is the girl who just gets torn to shreds. She gets stabbed a whole bunch of times and just torn to shreds. But really what makes this part even more memorable is the aftermath when they go discover what the bedroom looks like with the blood all over the place. This is from Scream 4, sorry. She's across the road. They can see through like the windows from across the road that Ghostface is gonna get her, and like they can't do anything about it, whatever. And then yeah, she gets killed. And this is easily probably the most gory death in Scream, because again, when it comes to the kills and everything, like I've said again, they're not that violent. I mean, yes, these are violent films, sure, people are getting killed, but they're not gory. There's typically not a lot of, guts going everywhere and stuff. But this one in particular is definitely a standout in terms of that. Then number 8 is the just the opening non-canon scene from the start of Scream 4. This is all of the stab kills. So this opens with some people watching the stab movies within the Scream movies, and they're criticizing it, saying that horror is just like, it's all remakes and it's all shit now and whatever. And then they kill each other, and then they're watching a stab movie. That was a stab movie that they were watching, and then they kill each other, and it just kind of keeps going where people are watching stab movies and getting killed until the final one. I think there's like 3 or 4 or 5 or so deaths in this before we get to the real one. And yeah, but I absolutely love this kind of opening and everything. And look, there can be an argument made that maybe these shouldn't count, because they're not canon, didn't actually happen, the ones within the movies, so maybe they shouldn't count. But that's kind of where I've cheated. I've kind of had my cake and ate it too, where I've kind of, I've counted it, but I haven't singled them out as separate kills. This is an all-in-one where they all kind of count as the one, just to cheat my way in and get this one high up on the list, because I absolutely love this. I think this intro is so Scream, like it gets the vibe so right, and it's definitely very memorable to me. This is my sense of humor, very much. Definitely like a great horror comedy, kind of a way to open a horror comedy. Then number 7 is the Hollywood house in Scream 3, where the thing is getting printed out and they're waiting to see what it says. It's like, it's so intense, and everybody else is just like, nah, I think we should get out of here. Like, this seems pretty fucked and whatever. But the one guy sticks around just to see what it says. It says, "Whoever smells the gas," and then the house blows up. It's so cool. Yeah, I think that this is easily the most fun kill in Scream 3. Very memorable to me. Despite the fact that Scream 3 does get kind of a lot of flack, a lot of people don't absolutely love this film, because of the criticism that it's not violent enough and all that kind of stuff. I think this one is really cool and kind of funny. I always found this one funny. Then number 6 is Timothy Oliphant, who gets shot to shit at the end of Scream 2. Just shot to shit. Just bang, 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 bang. And I just find that very memorable, the way he flails about and everything and reacts to getting shot. Great acting and stuff. I like it. Then number 5 is when Randy, sadly, unfortunately, is pulled into the van from Ghostface. So sad. This is in Scream 2. This is where Randy dies, unfortunately. He was like the fan favorite. Everybody loves Randy, right? But I love the part right beforehand where he's getting a call by Ghostface and whatever, and they're like just saying like, generic threatening shit like, "I'm gonna get you," or whatever. I don't remember specifically what they say, but I just remember his reaction is like, "Fuck you!
Fuck you!"
And then he gets pulled into the van and just stabbed like fucking 8 times or whatever. And this is the saddest death in the series because that's such a beloved character. Then number 4 is the cinema death, where it's just very public, very out in the open. This is at the start of Scream 2, where the woman is just, she has been stabbed in the cinema by somebody wearing a Ghostface mask, surrounded by other people wearing Ghostface masks because they're watching Stab, which is based on the first Scream film. So it's very meta, very funny. Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of introducing that very meta style of humor and everything that the series would continue doing all the way through. But I also find this, like, there's a great balance here of something that's actually quite disturbing while also being a satirical take on the horror genre and its fans as well. I think this is kind of a gripe on horror film fans as well. I think we should kind of take offense to this because we enjoy the horrible violence and everything. But I do find this one particularly horrible because, like, nobody's taking her too seriously because she's screaming, but because they're at the stab horror event, everyone's kind of having fun, everyone's wearing a Ghostface mask and everything, everybody's pretending to stab each other, and they don't take her too seriously at first, and there's something really horrible about that. She gets up on the stage and just screams and then falls to the floor, and I actually genuinely find it pretty horrible, but it's a fantastic way to open the sequel to Scream, and it holds up against the original kill in the original film as well, which will be coming up soon. Then number 3 is the school principal guy in the first Scream, who is played by the guy that plays the Fonz dude, and he just gets stabbed the fuck out. He just gets stabbed the fuck out. And then there's this very memorable shot of the reflection in his eye, and that's a very memorable shot to me. So I kind of wanted to have this one be pretty high. I think this one is just very effectively done, and it kind of brings the suspense to the film overall. It heightens the stakes as well, because this is a person of authority within the school, you know, and you thought he was safe and everything, like, or, you know, if you were a character in the film, you'd assume that, you know, the authorities around you would be safe and that the school would be a safe place and everything, but clearly not so. Then number 2 is Matthew Lillard's Stu, his death by a TV falling and smashing into his face. Again, very meta because it's literally media that kills him, and that is what the whole, especially first Scream, is all about. It's kind of the criticism of whether violence in TV and whatever affects people negatively and everything. It's very relevant to the film overall. The fact that he gets killed by TV, there's just this really awesome dark sense of irony there that's just funny. It's great. It's so good. Plus, what makes it so good is that it's not the type of kill that you'd see every day, you know, or in every Scream film. Like, every single Scream kill, like, not every single one, obviously, like, this one doesn't count, but, like, there are a lot of ones where it's just a stab or just a throat slash, but this is something that it's very different, very creative. I like it. Then, number 1, the very best one, and surely you saw this coming. I don't know, maybe it's the lame answer, maybe it's boring, but it is Drew Barrymore's iconic death at the start of Scream 1, which would have surprised audiences when they saw it for the first time in cinemas. What a fantastic experience that must have been. This whole scene is so effective. It's so, what's the word? Like, not claustrophobic, but like, I don't know. There's just this certain sense of intensity to it. There's a certain sense of helplessness. She's out, she can't really do anything about it. She's like, this isn't particularly a dumb character, because I feel like she's not just an idiot who is just, you know, falling all over the place being an idiot, though that is an element there because this is Scream and it's kind of making fun of those tropes. But I don't know. You don't expect that character to die, I think, is what really plays a part in it. Except for the fact that when I watched it for the first time, I kind of did know that because it's such an iconic death. Anyway, doesn't matter. The point is, when he slashes her throat, again, another throat slashing, and she's struggling to call for help because her parents have arrived home and she's asking for help. Not that they probably could have done that much about it at that point anyway, but it's still really horrible as she's just trying so desperately to you know, scream out for help and everything, but like, it's a helpless situation, obviously, and there's something really tragic about this kill. And then when the parents do see her body hanging from the tree outside, it's just such iconic imagery that really, really just deserves the top spot, if you ask me. It's part of a fantastic scene leading up to it. All the phone conversation that she has with Ghostface and everything, talking about movies, the little trivia game he plays with him, as things escalate and everything. It's a fantastic opening scene. It is what made Scream become this icon, and it's what pretty much everybody remembers about Scream. It's just so good. It's maybe the boring, obvious answer, but it's undeniably the best as well. I'm sorry if that's a boring answer, but it's just so good. I love it, and that's it. That's all. Although, one thing I will say about it though is that it's so horrifying, and it's not that much fun. For as fun as the rest of the Scream franchise is, this one's just so bad. Like, it's legitimately quite disturbing. But the whole series is fun. It's a great mix of fun and disturbing in certain ways. Mostly just fun, but anyway, that is all. Those are all of the Scream deaths in all of the Scream films ranked. Let me know if you disagree and stuff, or if I've missed any. I may have missed some. I hope not, but maybe I did. I did the research. Hopefully I got them all. Let me know. And do the things. Don't forget to do the things, which are, as you know, say it with me.
Like and comment and share and subscribe.
Do them. The things that the YouTubers say. Thank you. I'm gonna get out of here. And I don't know when, not straight away, but I will be doing some more Scream videos as well. Coming up sometime in the next, I'll be honest, couple months maybe. We'll see. I still have to write stuff. You know, I've got some scripts started, and yeah, so expect some more Scream stuff. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out of here. See ya.